What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. Today we're here to talk about full spoilers of Spider-Man Brand New Day. We got to see it the other day. We've had a few days to let it marinate because this is one of those movies where it is a lot to take in and you can't just... It's just a lot to take in.
Almost three. It's like it's like the second longest, right? Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours, almost
Yeah.
3. It's like just shy of Doomsday. Doomsday is like 2
Yeah.
hours and 46 minutes. This is like 2 hours and almost 30.
It might be the longest one then. I don't know. We'd have
But
to look it up.
there is a lot to unpack in this movie, and spoiler alert, I'm just going to go out and say it. I absolutely love this movie. It is high up there. At the end of this video, we're going to go over and talk about our overall ranking of every live-action Spider-Man film. We're not including Into the Spider-Verse, anything animated, just strictly the live-action movies. We're ranking amongst all 9 of them. I believe there's 9 of them total.
Yep.
But we'll get to that towards the end.
Well, I guess 10 now.
This would be 9, right?
Is
No?
it 9?
I can't count.
All right. Yeah,
But,
we'll figure it out.
Before we get into that, please consider that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the year, and if we can do more than that, that'd be fantastic. But hit that like button if you like to hear about nerdy stuff and like to see grown men dress up as Spider-Man and wear Pokemon
sir.
jerseys. You know, we're the place for you. But right off rip, man, how did you feel walking out of that theater? Because I gotta say, the best example I can give about it is I truly felt like a little kid walking out of that theater, and I don't know how to properly describe it, but it felt like this was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, if you love the video games, if you love all the other iterations, this was just like a perfect combination of a Saturday morning cartoon, the Insomniac games, all the other iterations that came beforehand, and I just woke up with the biggest grin. At the end of the movie, there's a clip of Peter Parker and the crowd of people kind of doing the Spider-Man hand gestures at a little boy on his dad's shoulders, and that kid has the biggest grin. I was like, that's me right now. So that's how I felt walking out of the theater. It was like literally the best time I've had in the movies in such a long time, and I'm just super excited to talk about it. But how did you feel walking out of the theater? What was your overall reaction to the film?
Yeah, I mean, definitely agree with you on that. I mean, the thing is like, it's such a love letter to all the Spider-Man mediums. Like, it takes aspects from, like you said, the video games, the cartoons, and I mean even the comics that everybody loves. You know, besides the different shots of like the covers and stuff, there were things, if you're a comic fan, a Spider-Man comic fan especially, that it definitely incorporated. And not just stuff from like the early days, like even stuff from like, you know, Dan Slott stuff, like one of the bigger Spider-Man writers, the guy who wrote Brand New Day. You know, Nick Spencer's runs, like a lot of stuff. You just felt like the whole Spider-Man universe, you know, fully immersed in the Spider-Man universe. Because it's kind of funny, like obviously Marvel Comics and Marvel movies are their own universe, but like Spider-Man feels like it could be its own thing all on its own as well sometimes, you know, because there's so many things about it, so many aspects to it, so many villains, so many cool stories. I mean, I felt like you said, like a kid in the candy shop walking out of that movie, and also just being able to see all the different types of people that we saw. I mean, there were little kids, there were people in their 60s. I think I saw, you know, an older.
Oh, you're talking about like in the theater?
Yeah.
No, like Spider-Man's universally.
Yeah.
Like, my fiance's not even the biggest Marvel person ever, and she loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There was, like, elderly women wearing Spider-Man shirts. People you would never expect. Spider-Man just resonates with so many people, and, like, I don't even think you have to be, like, a diehard MCU fan or anything. If you see Spider-Man, you're going to go watch it.
Absolutely. I mean, like I'm saying, my mom's 65. She texted me on Wednesday, right? And she's about to be 65. She texted me on Wednesday, and she's like, "You seeing the new Spider-Man movie this weekend? I want to go see it." And she's literally never... I think the last time she wanted to go see a movie with me was probably The Amazing Spider-Man in like 2013.
Little did she know, it sold out. Like,
yeah.
at least in our area, there was no viewings at all.
Yeah.
Because tickets went on sale like 2 months ago. I was on my anniversary trip, and we were in a cabin with no Wi-Fi, barely any service. So I was just like sweating, making sure I was going to get tickets.
Yeah.
But like, it was also crazy because I think that the Amazon pre-screeners like had such glowing, like the night prior had such like glowing reviews for it that just going into the theater trying to pull up our tickets on the AMC app, there was a queue. Like a 50, I had to wait 15 minutes for them just to be able to scan my ticket because AMC was being flooded with people trying to get Spider-Man tickets. Just
Yeah,
and
I know.
we went to the very first showing
I
that
know.
Thursday. It was at 3:00, which is
Crazy.
wild. So like Spider-Man really has that effect on people.
Yeah.
But like
It's nuts.
one thing I really loved about it is and there's something I was actually nervous about. I was nervous that this movie was going to be too like convoluted because there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
going on with it. There is the Hulk. There's the Punisher. Spoiler alert: Sadie Sink is Jean Grey.
Right.
The worst kept secret on the internet ever. It's just as bad as it reminded me of the No Way Home with the Spider Boys in it, like Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield. Like it was the worst Hollywood kept secret ever. And I honestly wish it didn't because there were some people like when they showed Jean Grey on the screen, like they clapped, got excited. I'm like, you know what? It would have been nice to have like that reveal, like to have that like
In the theater.
awe moment. But like I'm a sucker for like leaks and spoilers and theories. So it's like 9 times out of 10 I know what's gonna happen in 80% of these movies before we
I know.
watch it. But like for me, it's two different experiences. But it would be nice if I would just allow myself to have that oh my god moment at the theater. Kind of like the best I can say is kind of like Captain America with Endgame when he's picking up Mjolnir for the first time.
Yeah.
That was like probably the biggest like crowd reaction I've ever got in the
Yeah.
theater. So just
I
to
felt
be able
like
to,
with Endgame there was so many theories though that like there was theories that Wolverine was gonna show up in Endgame. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There was so much that like I felt like anything that happened I was still surprised because
Yeah.
I was like I wasn't sure what was true. Similar with this one actually, like again spoilers, but like Tombstone's in one scene. Tombstone is in one
those,
scene.
Pretty much what you see in the trailer as
Yeah.
far as all the villains go that's not Scorpion, that's what you get. And it's kind of the same way with the Hulk, which is,
Yeah,
that
that's
part
true.
kind of sucks because
Yeah.
they did the same thing in Captain America Brave New World. Pretty much everything with the Hulk you see in the trailers. There's a few scenes here and there that's different. But we'll touch on the Hulk in a little bit just because I did like that whole fight sequence because
That
we
was
do
cool.
we go from Banner to Professor Hulk and then we finally get our Savage Hulk back that we haven't had since the beginning of Infinity War.
And I will say that they did bring him back in a good way. Like, it wasn't random. It wasn't just like, oh,
Yeah,
why
it
is he
made-
Savage Hulk now?
It made sense to the
yeah.
story, and that's like what I was getting to back earlier.
Yeah.
I think what I love about this movie is it had so much going on in it between, like I said, Punisher, Hulk, Jean
Mhm.
Grey, but it didn't take away from the essence of Spider-Man. It still felt like a Peter Parker-driven story, and everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything that was, into this plot, whether it was Hulk, Punisher, or Jean Grey, it was something to just elevate Peter Parker.
Mhm.
Because I feel like in other movies, they were just focused on. They put more focus on, like in John Watts, they put more focus on the Spider-Man character, not so much Peter Parker. And this one really elevated him and made. I don't want to say made Peter Parker matter again because he's always mattered, but Peter Parker, made him matter. Like you really felt for him. And honestly, like it kind of made me feel old. I'm only 31, but we've been watching Tom Holland play Spider-Man for like a decade now.
Yeah.
And I just remember his first appearance in Civil War and then Homecoming, and then watching his character now, and I loved how they really made you feel that nostalgia throughout this movie because they would throw flashbacks from the other movies.
Mhm.
They had the whole scene where Jean Grey goes into Peter Parker's mind, and then you get to see Aunt May's back, and he's wearing his original suit from Civil War. He has like
Yeah.
short hair, that same little apartment room that he had in Civil War and
Uh-huh.
Homecoming. They're back there, so they really like got you in the feels with this.
That's
one.
true. And what's actually funny about that is, so Zendaya did an interview a few weeks back where she was like, "Oh, definitely bring your tissues or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, somebody's gonna." I didn't think anyone was gonna die, but like I thought it was gonna be like emotional or whatever. And then the scene where they are reconciling, or she's finding out that she knew Peter from before and whatever. I thought that's where I was gonna get like super emotional or whatever. The only one that almost got me was when him and Ned started talking
Dude,
and doing the Legos together.
Honestly, that was one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And like that part where it's just him. This takes place after the fact that MJ saw the note, so she
Mhm.
kind of dude, that scene. Speaking of, before we jumped into that scene,
Yeah.
was a gut punch. MJ finally reads the note, and she's like, and Peter pretty much lays it all out for her. It's like, I love you. She's like, I don't love you. I don't know you. I can see why this old version of me could have loved you, but I don't know you,
But I don't
so
know who
therefore
you
I
are.
don't love you. And then she just asked for a ride home. Like, that's,
Yeah.
that's kind of messed up.
It is
you
pretty
just
messed
broke
up.
our man's heart, and you're like, by the
But
way,
again, she doesn't know him.
I need a ride home. I get that, but
But
it's just
how do
like
how do you feel about how they handled that though? Because I know a lot of people. I know some people on one side of the aisle of like, oh, I want them to get back together, and I know other people who would be like, that would completely nullify No Way Home. So, like, where are you at? How did you feel how they handled that?
I think they handled it very well. I don't know where they're going to go from here because at the end of the film, like, she's on that rooftop at their old high school and she's holding the Black Dahlia necklace that she got in Far From Home.
I think eventually they're going to end up
and then she had, like, a big grin, so I don't know if that meant that she remembers him or not. So do you think, do you think that Ned remembers Peter Parker at the end of it?
And I don't like the people that are saying, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Yes, he has the muscle memory for the handshake. I get that. But, like, literally there's 2 parts of the movie where the movie is literally telling you that they don't remember.
But Ned is also, they kind of hint at it in No Way Home.
He's got the magic.
So there might be something to do with the fact that he has some kind of sorceress ability, you know, and it like, and the way he looks at Peter after they do the whole handshake,
he says Peter.
He looks at him like the way that Ned did throughout high school. So I feel like there is a glimpse. They could be wrong.
You're wrong.
But you know what?
Kidding. But
you know what? If you know what that proves, though, your boys are always in your corner because MJ doesn't remember him, and if Ned remembers him, your boys are always there for you if your girl lets you.
That's fair. That's true. But no. But the thing is he says Peter because earlier in the movie, MJ says, "Peter, be careful."
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, Spider-Man's name is Peter.
He didn't know that Spider-Man. He just fused it.
I know, but that's where he's just putting 2 and 2 together, where he's like, oh, Peter.
Well, yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm calling it now. I think Ned remembers him, and I think it has something to do
with the magic.
His family history as far as magic goes. I'm calling it now. I think Ned remembers him. I don't know if MJ does.
It is kind of funny that they don't mention. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't really make sense for this specific story, but it is kind of funny that. No, it would, because he should remember that he used magic in No Way Home. He should remember that he helped Spider-Man by using magic.
There's a lot of plot holes when it comes to that, because they remember everything, all the events. Like, they remember Spider-Man being involved.
Yeah.
But a lot of those things, I don't know how you, like, Peter Parker was also involved a lot. So, I think that's just one of those loopholes we kind of just, plot holes, that we kind of just have to just roll with.
No, well, I mean, I think you can justify it. Like, look, any of the times or scenes that Peter was being Spider-Man without his mask on, their memory is just of him with his mask on instead. Like, it's, you know what I mean? That's what I think. So if they're on the, in the final fight on the Statue of Liberty in No Way Home, they just think he had his mask on. They just remember him as Spider-Man, so that he has to remember helping Spider-Man with magic.
Well, yeah, he even says that he that's why he's obsessed with Spider-Man, because he wants to think and he remembers all the things.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm calling it now. Ned he remembers him.
I
think he remembers him. I think you're wrong with that one. But I guess which I
like
don't know.
That would be so annoying though for the movie. Well, actually, no.
We gotta let Peter win a little bit. Man, that man is so depressed.
No, for No Way Home.
Like, that man has hit a whole new low when he is actively eating that much Little Caesars pizza. Like, there was so much Little Caesars pizza in that man's apartment.
Did you see the Barrow?
The Barrow, yeah. There was like a little subtle advertisement for his non-alcoholic beer, which is great, by the way. For those who don't drink like me, it is a great it's a great substitution. If
I've never had it, but it looks
it's
great.
pretty good.
My friend Peyton, who has a TikTok channel, he's called Two Turn Tony Stark on TikTok.
Yeah.
He just did a review of it today, but. Yeah, I mean, I think they handled it well as well. I think the only to go to, like, complaints for the movie, only complaint is there were some dialogue scenes, or scenes of dialogue, rather, where I was just kind of like, I don't know, they just, like, couldn't figure out a better way to say it. Like,
do you have an example? Which part?
Yeah, like when he's finding Jean Grey and when he's finding out who this girl is, because the first half of the whole movie, it's just like this mysterious person. Like, you see Sadie Sink's face and everything like that, but they don't know who she is. So when he's doing his research, he says something like, "Oh, but now I have a name. Jean Grey." I don't know. It just seemed like really cheesy to me. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like.
I mean, I guess I can guess. I can see that, but that didn't.
Like, if I was looking up somebody's profile on something, I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be like, it's Josh McCoy. Like, I don't know. I'd just be like, it's a guy named Josh. Like, that's what I don't know. It seemed unnatural, I guess,
I guess if we're going to talk about things we didn't like, the main thing I think that Spider-Man Brand New Day fumbled on, and honestly, I know this is complete fan service. There was already way too much in the film, but they teased it at the end of No Way Home with the symbiote. All right, at the end of the movie, there's a scene where the Punisher is trying to take out, Jean Grey because she's like losing it. She found out that her sister died. She has pretty much half the city held captive. Like, how...
Yeah, they could have given him the symbiote right then and there.
Yeah, but how they did in the old X-Men films, Professor Xavier kind of freezing time and everybody's frozen. They did, like, a cool version of that, but they gave, like, a visual to it. It kind of looked like the Hex a little bit in WandaVision before it turned all red. Like, and it kind of looks similar to also, like, Vanessa Kirby's Visible Woman powers and Fantastic Four First Steps. But... where I think Spider-Man Brand New Day fumbled the bag is they should have had the symbiote suit, bring it back to life, and to set up Secret Wars because, in Secret Wars coming up, that's the first appearance of the symbiote suit. Yeah. Honestly, Peter Parker could definitely... I know he just got this massive upgrade, in Brand New Day with his enhanced powers and everything, but he's going to need something like that to take on Doctor Doom. And I do agree I do know why they didn't do it because it would have added too much to the film that already had so much going on. But they fumbled it by not adding the symbiote suit. I think that should have been like the post-credit scene of it bringing back to life, just to kind of bring it full circle. Do you agree, or are you glad they didn't have the symbiote suit?
No, and I don't think that it would have been too much. I thought that he was... So, in my mind, what they could have done in the beginning of the movie, or earlier on in the movie at some point, is shown DODC capturing the goo, right? Because all we see at the end of No Way Home is it staying at that bar.
Yeah, there's like no... Right? There's no mention of it whatsoever.
So DODC could have gotten it, right, just because they're Department of Damage Control. They could have been alerted to it somehow from somebody, whatever, and they could have gotten their hands on it, and it literally all it needed to be was as simple as being in like in a test tube somewhere in the DODC labs.
Just in the background.
Right, just in the background, whatever. And then when he gets shot, they could have literally had the symbiote, because everything shattered because of what happened with Jean. He gets shot, and the symbiote could have gone on him at that point. It didn't have to take over his body, but it could have gone into him.
That would have been
perfect.
If they had Department of Damage Control had the symbiote, that would have been their way of just showing.
Yeah.
Without it. But I think they were also too nervous of it having the Spider-Man 3 effect, because the symbiote, obviously, Sam Raimi didn't want that in that film. Sony kind of just forced it in there. So I feel like that's probably why they avoided it. So it wasn't.
But they didn't have to. My point is all they had to do to make it part of the next thing is that they didn't have to make it part of the story at all. Like they didn't. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have to enforce it.
Oh, you're saying instead of having the whole scene at the end of the movie in the hospital, that could have just been like the cliffhanger of him.
Well, they could have still had him go to the hospital and stuff like that, because maybe it didn't take its effect right away. Mm-hmm. Like because the symbiote can go into him without doing anything. That's what I think would have been better if it just got attached to him.
No, I agree.
Keep everything else
the
same.
I think the lack of symbiote in this day, they definitely fumbled when it came to lack of symbiote in it. But at the same time, I do agree. Now, speaking of the hospital scene, I gotta say, I absolutely love Frank Castle in this movie.
That was fucking awesome.
So nervous how they were gonna take an R-rated character and completely PG-ify him, but they really the essence of Frank was still there. You can still see how miserable he was.
Yeah.
But they kind of tapped into the more humorous side of him. I'm sorry, that scene at the end of the movie because he's feeling awful. He shot Peter Parker by mistake. Yeah. He's at Peter Parker's bedside. He's the one that carried him to the hospital. That was such just something about watching Frank Castle holding a dying Spider-Man freaking out, which it just hit me. It was that's rough.
And people are saying also that that's an homage to a very classic Civil War comic panel that because they got they got Frank carrying Peter in the same sort of fashion.
But that scene at the end where he's when there was a crowd of people outside of the hospital room, he's like, I got you covered and ready to go, just let me know. And then I got a plan. And Peter Parker walks out and everybody's like, it's Spider-Man. And then they're looking out the window and it's just Frank wearing the Spider-Man suit going, yeah.
But you can tell he's loving it. You can tell he's stoked. And that's a cool thing I think that they did that even though it wasn't Frank's movie at all, he didn't steal the spotlight in any way. He still had his own character development and character growth throughout that movie.
Yeah.
I think like he went from, like you said, like this miserable, isolated, whatever guy, and he started to lighten up towards the end. Not in such a bad way that it's like they're taking away the Punisher character. He's not going to change in that way. He still wants to do everything his way. He's made that very clear throughout the movie, but he still does have a little growth.
It was definitely a more older brother, little brother type.
Yeah.
And like the way that they were bicker with each other, and like Peter didn't like that Frank's answered everything was to shoot somebody, and he,
not just shoot them, but
just straight up, like he just wanted to kill Gene from the get go. He's like, no, we're not doing that. And then the scene literally.
Well, that's what he was trying to do at the end.
Well, then that part where he's trying to fight the Hulk, and he comes running in, he's shooting it, which was such a badass scene, by the way. The Punisher running in. Hulk has Spider-Man pinned down. This is when he's still Professor Hulk before he completely rages out. And you just see Hank come in. He throws like a grenade thing at him, and he just goes in and starts shooting up. And then Peter finally gets to... Frank finally gets to Peter, and he's like, what are you doing here? This is way above your pay grade. This is the freaking Hulk. And it's just like, that's what everybody's thinking. Like, what the hell is the Punisher going to do against the Hulk?
Yeah.
But I think that whole dynamic between them taking on the Hulk together was a beautiful, and then it ends with Peter Parker, or Spider-Man, saying, are you just trying to get me to do this so you can get out fighting the Hulk? He's like, well, yeah. So seeing Punisher get like scared and want to run away from something, you never seen that. So like I absolutely love that whole dynamic between them. So I think it really does rival, like I know a lot of people love it or hate it, the whole Iron Man, Tony Stark, Spider-Man, duo. But I think this one really rivals that, and there's a part of me that might actually like it more than that. But it's definitely up there with the whole Spider-Man, Iron Man.
I like it more than that for sure. Like I appreciate the mentorship of Tony Stark, and I understand why they did that the way they did it in the MCU, because whatever. But because you have to have there's a little bit less suspension of disbelief in movies compared to comics. I could write you could have a comic book of a 15-year-old kid completely figuring out all this shit on his own. Right?
Yeah.
But in a movie, it's a little bit less realistic, which is actually, fun fact, why Tobey Maguire has organic webs. Did you know that?
No.
He has organic webs because Sam Raimi thought it wasn't plausible for a kid to figure out how to make a web shooter.
But that's Spider-Man.
I know.
That's Spider-Man. I don't know.
But that's
Peter Parker's more of a genius than people give him credit.
I agree with you 100%. I think that was a wrong move on his part, but that's the point, is people in movies, they want... It's harder to suspend disbelief in movies compared to comics. So the whole, anyway, whatever.
Speaking of organic webs, do you think that they're going to keep that going forward?
Well, that's what I was curious.
Or do you think that this is going to be just a trope throughout this movie, or do you think he's going to just have organic webs throughout Doomsday and Secret Wars? I think it would be... won't really make much sense. It would be kind of dumb because like this whole movie was about the evolution of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. He's evolving, he's growing. Spiders have 3 life cycles, whatever they called it. So I think that would be going backwards. And honestly, the whole
it would be going backwards to have him use organic webs.
No, it'd be going backwards to have him have web shooters again.
I think the thing is he learned to control his 2 sides, his human side and his spider side at the end. Like
but the organic webs, they even said that you can't use them at the same exact time. That's why they shoot off every time.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he's gonna have them anymore.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be straight organic webs.
No. I think he's gonna have web shooters because he's not suppressing it, but he's controlling himself.
I took it as he finally just accepted all his changes and everything that's going on with him, and he's embracing the new Peter Parker, the new Spider-Man. And it's technically a level up because he got a lot more strength. I mean, Spider-Man went toe-to-toe with the freaking Hulk.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, that alone, like, tells me, like, they need to just kind of... And it's because of this evolution of the character, he got a lot stronger. But yeah, Spider-Man went toe-to-toe with the Hulk. I don't know what more you need out of a comic book movie. That alone sold me. I know that that was literally everything they shown was in the trailer for the most part. But that is a comic book dream. Like, I absolutely love that whole concept. And... it just shows how strong Spider-Man really is. The fact that, and he wasn't even scared. This is Peter, like the old Peter Parker that we saw in Civil War and stuff. I don't think he would have been so willingly to go up against the Hulk, but it's like he didn't even think about it. He just went straight to it, and he really held his own against the Hulk, which was just wild to me. Another that which it kind of sucks a little bit because I do feel like the MCU has done a bad job at just kind of using the Hulk to make other characters feel more powerful. But nonetheless, I was able to turn that off and just simply enjoy what I was watching. I mean, come on, we had Spider-Man fighting the Hulk and Frank Castle, the Punisher, just shooting at the Hulk, which was just humorous to see. But come on, that whole sequence was definitely a comic book dream.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the cool parts of the movie. I do, it was a little bit throwaway, I guess, because it didn't really have any consequence on the rest of the film.
Well, I think it's tying into where Bruce Banner is going to be going forward because he definitely got arrested. He did destroy a whole building. Granted, nobody got hurt, but every time the Hulk rages out, they're just gonna, he's gonna get locked up. He's gonna do something. I'm curious if he's gonna be raging Hulk inside Doomsday, or if he's gonna be involved, or if we're gonna get like Red Hulk and him kind of team up or fight each other. I don't know, but I think it was just kind of setting up the next plot in his story because like since they've just done Cardigan wearing Smart Hulk, they haven't really progressed his story at all. So this can kind of bring more stakes back to the character.
Honestly, I think that they were kind of waiting to see if they could get the rights back from Universal to really like give him a good story. To be honest, just because like that's kind of what the vibe that I always got was like they're like, all right, well let's put him in this. Until we can do something else, do this, then we can do something. And then they've never been able to, like, get back the rights from Universal for whatever reason. I think they're just petty. Like, if I were Universal, like, I would just give it back. Like, I mean, maybe not just give it back, but, like, make the deal. Like, they're not, like, the way that Marvel and Sony have been able to work together to do these great things with the Spider-Man movies, I think has been awesome. But for whatever reason, Universal is just being a petty bitch about it.
They're never. Universal's never needed together, but there's rumors of World War Hulk movie and stuff like that, probably within the Mutant Saga, if that's what they're calling it. But whenever after Secret Wars and Doomsday. But before we get to the very end of our review for this film and we give our overall rating and like final thoughts on it, we haven't really touched much on Jean Grey. How do you feel they handled the introduction to the Lieutenant? She's not the first mutant because Ms. Marvel, they called a mutant. Namor's, they hinted to be a mutant. But she's the first X-Men type mutant that we had. Well, and obviously this is, I'm talking like within the MCU. Yeah. So, but this is like the first introduction to any type of X-Men characters. Like, I personally think I like the way they did this. It was just kind of like I said, they were able to introduce such a big character without it really taking away from what I feel like it didn't take away from, the fact that it was a Spider-Man movie. A lot of people were complaining that they put too much focus on that character, which I don't think that happened. I think this just helped elevate Peter Parker. And honestly, I'm very excited to see where they go with this character. I'm interested to see who they cast as Scott. I'm excited to see overall the new X-Men in general, and this has got me more hyped for what's to come. I know she's probably not going to be much in Doomsday. I'm pretty sure from what I'm hearing she might be more in Secret Wars. But I am excited to see where this character ends up. And honestly, Sadie Sink is great. I loved her in Stranger Things. I'm glad that they casted somebody younger, so like now she can grow with this character. You don't have to worry about like age limits. And now another generation, because we grew up with our version of Jean with like the older X-Men Fox films. So now since she's young enough, like another generation of kids can grow up with their Jean. I think they handled it very well. It has me super excited, and honestly, I think she has the potential to be the best Jean Grey that we have seen on live action. Nothing against the other two, but she really, for like a first year Jean Grey, somebody who's just coming into her powers. There's no X-Men, there's no teaching. I think what they did with the character, I think it was a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as far as her being the best live-action version of Jean Grey that we've seen, I think that she has...
she has potential to be. Like,
she is,
This is just
potential.
her first outing, so it's like she has to interact with any of the X-Men. I don't know how the chemistry is going to be with like Scott or Wolverine, Professor X, anything like that. But based off this movie, I can see the potential of her being the best Jean Grey that we've seen on screen thus far.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, no, I can see that only because she has better and more resources, I would say, than the past iterations. Like the MCU and Marvel and whatever, like they have a lot more money, they have a lot more, capabilities these days than we had, 25 years ago and whatever. So yeah, I mean, she can, I think that this could be a really good iteration of her. I think that it was an interesting choice to have her be that in this movie. I don't know. Like, they could have used another person and just like any other random person, you know, and had the same story be told for Peter.
I mean, they're just trying to elevate the MCU, and like, you know, the main focus going forward after all this is mutant, and so I think it's smart to kind of like, you know, sprinkle them here and there. That way, it's just not like, bam, here's a bunch of new characters at the end.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I guess what confuses me, or not confuses me, but like makes me curious, are two things. One is, I thought that we were getting a reboot after Secret Wars, so to be like introducing.
Well, I think that was the initial plan.
Okay.
And then now they realize that'll probably be to just have a singular universe is probably a lot more complicated than it sounds like on paper when so many different hands are involved with all these characters and these licenses and stuff. So what I would hate is if at the end that everybody just kind of goes back to the universe and it just kind of resets like it was from Endgame or whatever. No, there needs to be like I want to see, now that everybody's home, I want to see the X-Men interact with Tony Stark and the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. Like, I want to see those relationships form and you know, all that dialogue between those characters and what it would be like to see. Honestly, what it'd be like to see a snarky Tony Stark, you know,
fighting with Scott.
I just want to see Tony Stark and Scott on the screen together, just going at it.
Yeah.
More so, just because I feel like Scott and Tony would have like the best banter back and forth. I feel like they would completely hate each other.
Yeah. Oh,
and
for sure.
That's just like I want to see that. So like I'm glad that they're kind of you know, sprinkling the X-Men here and there.
But okay, so then that kind of brings me to my other point is, where have the mutants been all this time? Like,
well, I think that what they could do is they could do the whole what happened with the blip, how like the blip kind of, you know, brought out that gene in people, like kind of like, you know, fast track that gene, or everything that happened with He Who Remains. They can simply just say that once Sylvie did what she did and this the Sacred Timeline got all messed up, that's when things started to go wrong, because He Who Remained was purposely leaving mutants out of the Sacred Timeline thing. Anything that could oppose him, essentially. Now that he's out of the picture, now there's the Ebrey slowly and that's why their origin stories are all going to be different, because they're, compared to every other iteration in the multiverse, they're kind of getting a late start.
Okay. So He Who Remains was like, the Avengers are fine, the X-Men are the problem, or the
Which
mutants
honestly
are the
is a slap in the face to the Avengers.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, he's like, I could live without the X-Men, I can live without Doctor Doom, they will kick my ass, but you can leave the Avengers. I'm not worried about a 10-man and a guy with a frisbee and, you know, a guy who, you know, wears drapes like Romeo and Juliet. Like, I'm not worried about any of that. And like Kang said in freaking Quantumania, oh, an Avenger, I've killed you before. So obviously he wasn't, you know, threatened by the Avengers by any way, shape, or form, which I think is just, you know, kind of funny, but also kind of messed up at the same time. The disrespect that Kang, He Remains, puts on the Avengers' names is diabolical.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I like Jean. I like that she is one of the first ones that they're introducing, only because she's one of the original.
And I'm glad that they didn't go straight like with Wolverine. Like,
yeah, that would have been too easy. And I don't think that the world is ready for a new Wolverine. I think that
I'm just gonna say it now. I'm still holding out hope that after Secret Wars, that Deadpool Wolverine didn't just, you know, blue ball us and we get our Calverine. I'm such
you want
a Henry Cavill and just a Henry Cavill fan, and just that one glimpse, you were just leaving, and then the claws coming out. I'm like, oh yes, I want more.
That
of that
was a cool scene.
Like,
I would definitely watch a full Wolverine Henry Cavill movie. I honestly want Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine, just because, like, obviously, like, comic accurate. You know, we're talking comic accuracy. Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna get a 5'2" guy.
You're wrong. We just need Henry Cavill. Just Henry Cavill.
Just
Watch
Henry
The
Cavill.
Witcher with all Geralt's all his grunting and stuff. Like, he could be Wolverine. Just that scene alone. Like, Henry Cavill has been done dirty by every studio he's been in. He got done dirtiest. He got screwed over by Superman. He left The Witcher because, like, he's such a diehard and he fought for that show and he loves that franchise and that video game, that they were steering too far away from, like, you know, the source material, and he didn't like it. So that's why he left, because he's a huge fanboy and he's like, I don't like the way the studios are doing
But then
it.
didn't they try to? wasn't also part of it because WB told him that he was going to come back as Superman?
I think they're just saying that, but he walked away from the project, and now he's focusing on Warhammer. But Henry Cavill keeps getting done dirty by all these studios, so I think the man deserves a big role like Wolverine, and I think he would absolutely kill it. I don't care what the internet says. I don't care what he says. Calverine, 100% after Secret Wars. Watch Hugh Jackman's Wolverine pass the baton. I want to see that at the end of Secret Wars. Henry Cavill, Wolverine, I'm here for it.
All right, there you go. There you go.
But when I think of Spider-Man Brand New Day, getting to the end of this, like I said, I just felt like a child again. I think Coy said it. If anybody watches Coy out there, shout out. He said it best. It's like the best live action Saturday morning cartoon you could have watched. It genuinely felt like a true comic book movie. I felt like I truly felt like from start to end, I felt like I was watching Spider-Man. If you love the video games, you're going to see a lot of inspiration from that as far as when he's fighting the villains and all like the just all the bad guys, just the fighting styles. Like it's the same. It felt like I had the controller in my hand and I was watching do it, and it just genuinely felt like Spider-Man. And I don't think I realized it to watching this film that a lot of those John Watts movies, that's what they were missing. Like I think that trilogy is great. Tom Holland did great in those movies, but like I didn't really realize it till watching this one that it didn't really have that true Spider-Man feel to them. I think it just felt like more part of the MCU universe, and I was just so intrigued by the universe as a whole. I wasn't. I don't know.
Weren't Spider-Man movies.
It just felt like more add-ons to like the Avengers and stuff, but this really felt like it could be its own little standalone Spider-Man film, and it just brought me so much joy. And I think the way they handled all the characters, I think it was just perfect. I think it was just, and it didn't feel like overbearing, overstuffed, and I can't wait to go watch it again. And I can't remember the last time that I walked out of a theater with just the biggest smile on my face, feeling happy, sad, all at the same time. And I think that's why people relate to Spider-Man so bad, because you can feel so many different emotions from it. So many people love Spider-Man. Like I said, we were seeing old ladies, and they're wearing and when I say old, I mean like in their 70s, wearing Spider-Man suits, having their popcorn buckets. Like people were just so excited, and honestly, I haven't felt that much energy in a theater since like the Infinity War Endgame era. So it was nice to see people be excited about a Marvel movie again, and like so many people dressed up as Spider-Man. It just felt like the community was coming back together. Everybody was just so happy, and with how the world is today, I think we just need more of that. But Spider-Man Brand New Day, overall, I know I just saw it a few days ago, and this might be recency bias, but I am gonna put it a solid 9 out of 10.
Nice.
I think it's really hard for me to hit a 10 out of 10 because it has to be absolutely perfect, and there are some things here and there, like not having the damn symbiote in this movie that keeps it from being a 10, but this was a beautiful Spider-Man film. If you yet to see it, I definitely go recommend to watch it. I will 100% be watching this at least 3 or 4 more times in the theater before it's out.
Hell yeah.
But how did you feel about Spider-Man Brand New Day? Were you as hyped about it as me, or are you kind of up there with me as far as the grading scale goes?
Yeah, I mean, I was super excited. I think before we started watching it, I told you, I was like, this is like getting to like, what did I say? I said something like getting to go on a roller coaster for the first time that you're really excited about. Like I was nervous, but I was really excited, going into it. And yeah, definitely, I'm not bored the whole time. Really excited to see what was happening next, to see where everything was going, how it was going to get resolved, and everything like that. I'm a huge comic guy, so calling it Brand New Day definitely brought certain expectations. Not necessarily for it to be exactly like the comic at all, like whatever, I don't expect that at all. I did kind of expect a little bit more of classic legacy characters though, like Tombstone. Like
he was there.
He was there
for like 10 seconds.
He was there more than any of the other villains that they like cameoed through. And I'm glad that they did that too. Like I'm glad that they showed Tarantula and Boomerang and all these other guys. Like
it was if you've seen Fantastic Four First Steps, it was the same concept as that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I did have a little bit more of an expectation of those kinds of things. So I mean, there was that, and I love the movie still nonetheless, obviously. But other than that, I mean, I thought all the action was fantastic. Not just the action, but like the vibe of the story was very reminiscent of the video games and the cartoons as well and things like that. Just because of the couple things that I mentioned, I think I put it at an 8.5 off the bat. I'm gonna watch it a couple more times. It might go higher. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah. But I love it. It's definitely gonna be a rewatch for sure.
8.5, 9.
Yeah.
Together, regardless, it's a solid. Both of them are over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you care for Rotten Tomatoes or not, but it is a great film.
Yeah.
But before we wrap this up, we are gonna rate all of the Spider-Man live action. We're not including Into the Spider-Verse films or anything like that. But from worst to best.
Worst to best.
We're gonna start with the worst and go to the and end on the best, and where we rank all of the Spider-Man films. So starting out for me, where I would rank Brand New Day, I believe there's 9. There's 9, right?
Let's see. So there's the 4
so,
Tom Hollands, 3 Tobies.
Yes, there's 9. Yep. So there's 9. So, all right. So where I would rate Spider-Man Brand New Day as far as all other 9 films. So starting with the worst, of course, obviously it's got to be Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi.
The worst one is Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I think the worst one is Spider-Man. And to be fair, none of these movies are bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
I love all of them. I rewatch all of them.
Yeah.
But if I had to put all on the scale, this would be my ranking of all the Spider-Man movies thus far. Starting at number 9, being the worst, we got Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi. Coming up after that, I would say Spider-Man Far From Home when it comes with Mysterio. And then after that, I would say TASM 1.
Okay.
And then I would go Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1 with Sam Raimi. And then I would go Spider-Man Homecoming. And
you think Homecoming is better than Spider-Man 1?
No. Oh, I'm gonna get that. Let me get that back.
Okay.
Sorry. So, all right, refresh. All right, I'm gonna redo this whole thing. So, here's my ranking from worst Spider-Man movie to the best.
All right.
So we got Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi.
Okay.
Then we got Spider-Man Far From Home with
right.
Mysterio.
Good.
Coming at number 8, and then coming at number 7, we got coming at number 7, we got TASM 1.
Okay.
And then coming in at number 6, we got Spider-Man Homecoming. Then we got number 5, Spider-Man 2. Number 4, Spider-Man 1. And then number 3, TASM 2. I'm getting a lot of shit for that one.
Right.
I'm sorry. To Andrew Garfield, as much as I love Tom Holland, deserves so much more praise as Spider-Man. And honestly, that was a convoluted movie. But I put that on so much just to do chores and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the closest thing to Brand New Day that really felt like a true Spider-Man movie. Like Andrew Garfield, I think, deserves his flowers.
Did a very, very good job.
And then of course number 2 would be No Way Home, just simply for honestly we know it's a nostalgia bait. If you pull the story away from it, there's really not much substance there. But it was such a fun ride in the movie theater. And then of course we got Spider-Man Brand New Day. As of now, at number 1. Again, this is recency bias. I just saw the film 2 days ago. This could change, but as of now, Spider-Man Brand New Day is the best live-action Spider-Man movie, in my personal opinion.
All right. Very interesting choices, I think. But let's see. All right, so my bottom, so we're starting bottom to top, right?
Yeah.
So worst to best. So my worst is Far From Home. It takes so much effort for me to try to watch that movie. It is
the worst of the top.
It makes me so upset because I'm like just because a huge part of Spider-Man is New York.
Yeah, he's not in it at all.
And I'm from New York. So maybe that's why I hate it more. It's just I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? All right, that's the first thing. Then I have Spider-Man 3. Only because of the way they handled Venom. And I know there's the whole thing with Raimi and the studio trying to push it on Raimi, and I get it. They shouldn't have done that. And there's actually an interview with Todd McFarlane, who's one of the original creators of Venom, and he's like, he went and watched the movie, and you got to think this was 10 years after he created Venom, right? And he's like, what the fuck is this thing? He was literally, he's supposed to be big. And he's skinnier than Spider-Man.
You got that 70s show guy thing.
Yeah, exactly. You got Topher Grace. Love Topher Grace, but I don't know.
Not Venom.
Yeah, not Venom. Homecoming is right after Spider-Man 3. Not the worst. It's not bad. It's not even bad, to be honest. But it's just like...
You got Michael Keaton Vulture. That's pretty badass.
Michael Keaton Vulture, sure. But, you know, I don't know. It's not... I won't rewatch it that often. Again, you've got Spider-Man trying to swing through what seems to be Westchester. Like, I don't know what's going on. It doesn't make sense. Then I have The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one.
Okay.
Then I have TASM 2. So yeah, I am ranking it probably higher than most people. Not as high as you. It's not in my top 3.
Yeah.
I
don't care. I love TASM.
No, honestly, I do really like it. I don't love the biggest place where that movie falls off for me is the design, the character design.
It is a guilty pleasure of mine that I will not be ashamed of.
Here's the thing. It has the best swinging besides Brand New Day out of any of the Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm. It has Andrew Garfield.
It has Andrew Garfield, who's incredible.
To be Spider-Man longer. I love you, Tom
For
Holland,
sure.
but Andrew deserved his flowers.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm glad things happened the way they did, but at the time, until like a few years ago, I was still really upset about that. It has the best swinging. It has really good visuals besides that. And the story isn't bad. I don't know. People are weird. Anyway, TASM 2. Number 4 is Spider-Man 1. The only reason it's that low for me is because, like, I like an origin story. Obviously, you need them and stuff like that. But, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, on rewatch, it's just too much time spent on that. And it's not the movie's fault. It needed it when it came out. Like, whatever. Yeah. It's just, that's why it's number 4 for me in 2026. Number 3 is No Way Home. Similar reasons, nostalgia bait. I think it...
You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll rewatch it every day if I could, you know. Spider-Man 2 is my number 2.
I'm gonna get so much flack for not having it higher. I can see it now.
Spider-Man 2 is I mean, I think, like...
I'm already canceled. I can already see it now. I'm already canceled.
Here's the thing, is because, like, yeah, Spider-Man 1 is, like, obviously it's the first one, but I think Spider-Man 2 is the reason we're all here. Like, with the MCU and everything like that. It's what really... I mean, with just Spider-Man 1, it would have been another movie.
I had that 4, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I had it 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With just Spider-Man 1, the whole thing would have just been another movie. There would be no MCU today. You know, whatever. I think it was like that and the Blade Trinity were like the biggest proof of concepts at the time that like this could be a thing, right? And then that leaves Brand New Day as my number 1 right now. Again, might be recency bias like you, but
it's such a damn good movie.
It's so good. Like especially as a Spider-Man story, it's just so captures the essence of Spider-Man so well, and I think it does that because it grabs elements from all, like I said, the best Spider-Man mediums, like the games. Like the game is actually one of the best Spider-Man stories ever.
100%.
Like, and again, this is as a comic fan. Like, I read the comics every week. Not saying that the current Spider-Man comics are amazing or anything like that, but like, I've read a lot of them. I've read most of the early 2000s. I've read the entire Ultimate Spider-Man series, like the new one and the old one. And the game is just the best.
The game is peak.
Yeah, but anyway, that's where I rate the movies. I think it's...
We already know we're going to get roasted in the comments, especially me. I can already see it now coming. I'm going to get canceled.
But you gotta put my facial reactions in.
But yeah, guys, with all that being said, that's our overall view of Spider-Man Brand New Day, where we rank it amongst all the Spider-Man films.
Yep.
But now we hear from you guys. Let us know down below in the comments how you guys felt about Brand New Day, and let us know your ranking of all the Spider-Man movies. And also tell me how wrong I am, because I can just feel it now. I can already feel the hate, because I don't even remember where I put Spider-Man 2, but I feel like I put it low enough to get, completely roasted in the comments. So I'm ready for it.
Let's do it.
Let us know down below how you guys feel about all the Spider-Man movies. We, like as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this video. We'll definitely be doing a lot more of these. Josh is going to be hanging out with me a lot more. We're going to be getting together doing these podcasts a lot more on these videos. It's nice to finally have somebody to talk to like in person versus just on like little screens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, let us know down below in the comments how you feel about the Spider-Man movie, and I can't wait to talk to you guys and hear what you guys' thoughts all about Brand New Day. Don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.